Hey friends, it's Elizabeth here from the Everyday Storyteller, and I am finally back with a full flip through of my London travel album. So I completed this as part of my Patreon. We did a couple of different process videos and Photoshop tutorials, and I'm really excited that this hunker of an album is finally finished. So as you can tell, this is a 10 by 8 album. This is the white linen design by Ali Edwards. I don't believe that this album is available anymore, but it is really beautiful. I did not add anything to either the outside or the inside. I'm leaving that plain. So let's dive straight in. I'm gonna try to situate you guys so that you can kind of see both sides of the spread. Hopefully this will work. I might have to adjust again. Yeah, here we go. That'll be good. All right, so I am mostly using the 2023 Ali Edwards travel collection. I believe this large wood veneer go though is actually from 2022. I usually collect Ali's travel collection releases. So I have a couple of different things in here that might be from previous years as well. But this large wood veneer go was a really fun way to open up my album. I also used some transparency, which was also from the travel collection. I don't know if you can actually see that. Do I have a white piece of paper? See. There we go. You can see it a little bit better. It just has a faint white print on there. Kind of blends once you put it on top of the photo, but in real life you can see it a little bit better. This design was inspired by Morgan Beale. One of her travel classes with Ali, she kind of did something similar to this, and I decided that was perfect to start out my album. I also loved how Big Ben fit into my O. That was a really fun little addition to this title page. So obviously I opened with this slightly fuzzy photo of Big Ben in Parliament, but that's okay. And then it continues on the inside spread, as well as a bunch of journaling that has to do with how we prepared for our trip. I'm gonna move you over just a tiny bit. There we go. Now we're completely in frame, hopefully. All right, so the journaling in here details how we decided to go on this trip. This was something my husband and I had talked about a lot. Going to London, it was a place that we wanted to visit for as long as we were kids, and definitely as long as we were married. And it seemed like this year was the perfect time. We originally were going to go to Canada to go to a Formula One race, but then decided that instead we would go to London and go see a Formula One race there. So this was completed in Photoshop. This layout was completed in Photoshop. I have a tutorial, I believe, on YouTube as well as on my Patreon on how I created this layout. All right, so for each day we open up with a full 10 by 8 photo outside of the page protector. So this is around 11 by 8 1/4. And I also kind of tried to do similar embellishments to open up the title page. I have a tag plus the metal rimmed circle and a chipboard number. The chipboard number represents the day of the month, so this was July 4th. We actually left on July 3rd, but we got to England on July 4th. We took an overnight flight, so I decided just to add the date for the day we actually got to London. And then we have this regular 4x6 and 4x4 page protector. This is also from Ali Edwards. I don't have a lot of embellishments in this album. As you can see, I have this little Let's Go Somewhere chipboard. That is from 2023's Ali Edwards travel collection. But mostly I've left the photos purposefully blank. You can see my journaling here. Pretty much everything is created in Photoshop. and everything has a process video over on Patreon. So if you have any questions about how I created any of these things, that is the place to go to get your answers. This is a digital stamp that says enjoy the journey. I believe that's from In a Creative Bubble, as well as this. It's just some of our in-flight information, as well as this photo of the plane. And I do like to add this 6x8 page protector in each one of my days as well. So usually it has a full photo on one side and then some type of pattern with one of these tags on the other side. So you'll see that continued out throughout the album. That kind of transitions us to like the next part of the day. So like this was the first part of the day and then the second part of the day, and that kind of continues as a theme throughout the album, that those 6x8 page protectors are kind of a transition piece. One of the things that I was a little bit scared of at the beginning, but ended up really, really loving, are these full 4x10 photos. These are really big, obviously not as big as a full 10x8, but it is a really fun way to play with your photos. I found a couple of different formulas that work for me. Some of them are just these full photos with some embellishments. This was a Victoria tube line logo that I created and added onto this photo of Victoria Station. This is a little journaling card that I created digitally in Photoshop that I added a little bit more information to this photo of the welcome sign at Heathrow. Just a photo of our hotel where we ate. I added this, I believe this is roughly, I actually don't know what size this is. This is a page protector that I cut down so that I could slip in our room key card. So you can see I have our Oyster card in here, as well as some information about the hotel. So that is what I added on here. It fits really well. As you can see, you can just take out the room key card and then you can see the full photos. So that works really well. And then each day I end with another outside of the page protector photo, this time of the ephemera that I collected on that day. So this is a flat lay of the ephemera that I collected on day one. I also have a little bit of extra journaling here. And then also I'll include like the captions for the ephemera. So I'll kind of describe what they are, where we got them, that kind of thing. So this ends up being a consistent element throughout the album. It always begins with a outside the page protector 10x8 photo that is usually my favorite photo from the day. And then it ends with this ephemera photo flat lay. So here is day two. Day two was our Harry Potter day. This is one of my favorite photos that we took. My daughter was so excited to take her picture in front of Hogwarts Castle. The tag here says the world is a book and those who do not travel only read a page, which I thought was fun because it included both books and travel, and that is what we were doing. We were going to somewhere where we'd read about and also traveling. So here is my 4x6 and 4x4 page protector page with some journaling. Again, this was the tube logo that I just created in Photoshop and then added onto my photo to delineate where we were. We went to King's Cross Station that morning, of course, because you can't go to London without going to King's Cross. This is a digital version of one of the nested chipboards that Ali included in the 2023 travel collection kit. And then I went ahead and took the logo from Regent's Park and added that here to this full photo. On this next page, I took a lot of flower pictures in Regent's Park. There's a beautiful flower garden there, and we took all the pictures of the flowers, so I wanted to include those in a way that didn't take up much space, but also gave like a special place to all of my beautiful flower photos. So I did that here on this pattern paper that I digitally altered in Photoshop. I believe this is also from the 2023 travel collection kit. And then some of these photos actually flip up so that you can read some journaling underneath. Added a little bit of vellum from the travel collection kit and this very old embellishment from the Grow story kit from many moons ago. More photos. As you can see, I don't embellish my photos very much. They kind of speak for themselves. Once in a while, I will add like a digital piece to the photo, but most of the time, I just leave it by itself. More journaling. Again, my handy dandy 6x8 page protector that kind of separates one part of the day from the next part of the day. So this one has a Harry Potter background, and these tags are all add-ons from the 2023 travel collection. I have some journaling and then a photo right here. And then on the other side, we kind of begin the Harry Potter portion of this day. Here's my daughter in front of the undesirable #1 poster. One of the things she really loved was getting to see the acceptance letter from Hogwarts, so I thought it would be fun to make that kind of an interactive element. I had taken her picture in front of it. It was a giant sign. So this was a really fun way to showcase that photo and also bring a little bit more Harry Potterness to this layout. Some of these photos are taken from the internet. I don't have a problem with using photos from the internet, like stock photos from the internet, when I am working in my personal album. So some of them you will see are a little bit too professional looking to be from me. Plus there are no people, which there definitely was a lot of people when we went. This particular 4x6 card is an edit, but originally this was from Any Creative Bubble. I believe this setup was as well. Behind these 3 photos, there's just a printed copy of the Marauders map, and then this is an embellishment that I actually cut out from the Harry Potter guidebook that we got. You could stamp certain things. It didn't come out very well, the embossing didn't, but it's still fun to have that part in the album. The other side of my 4x10s, a little bit more journaling. I have so many photos from here that I included an insert. So these are, I believe these are 3x3 photos. Yeah, so that's the 3x3 page protector, probably taken from either a 6x8 or a 9x12. More photos. This is left blank. I was going to put an embellishment here and then I changed my mind, and that's okay. This is a piece of the tissue paper that we got from what we bought at the Harry Potter studio, and then this is a photo of one of the ornaments that we purchased for the Hogwarts Railway, and since this particular spread was all about that, I thought that would be a fun embellishment. This is another journaling card that was originally designed by In a Creative Bubble, and I just modified it to fit the space that I needed. This is really fun. This is an interactive element that I really, really loved. So obviously at Harry Potter, the Harry Potter store, if you've never been, you get these really huge bags. And obviously I can't put those into an album, but they do have photos of these bags on the internet. And I decided that I was going to print out what my bag looked like on some regular paper, some regular printer paper, and then I was going to kind of create my own little bag. I included one of the tags from something that we purchased, and also the handle from the actual bag, which is the fun little addition. And then if you flip it out, there is a flat lay of all of the things that we purchased on our Harry Potter day. So yeah, it's kind of a fun way to add in all of the stuff that was too big to actually like fit into the album, was to create this little shopping bag, and inside of it have a flat lay of all the stuff that we purchased. This is some more journaling, part of the Marauders map that you can find on the interwebs that I printed out. Love this photo of my daughter. She was so excited to be standing where the Harry Potter people had stood. This is something that I've only done once in this album because I had my silhouette out and I was gold foiling, and so I added this little details card in gold foil with a quote from her. It actually came out really well, and I kind of wish that I had done this more often, but this was really the only quote that I specifically remembered exactly what she had said. She was like, "I'm only just a little bit tired, Daddy. I had a very large day." That was when we were coming back on the train from the Harry Potter studio, and she fell asleep. She said she wasn't tired, but you know, very large day she had. It was very exciting. And then this is the ephemera page from the day. As you can see, I used a bunch of different digital number stamps to delineate what ephemera I'm talking about. And then over here, I will kind of give a short description of each of them. So that was day 2 of our trip. Day 3 was July 6th. Again, full page photo, tag, metal rimmed tag with a chipboard number, and then a little embellishment, as well as my favorite photo from the day. This time I opened it with my large 4x10s. So this is actually a really fun thing that I discovered you could do with the 4x10s. I wanted to use the full 4x10s, but then also have some room for smaller photos. So I created these 3x3 this 3x3 template where I could add in some photos, some journaling if I wanted to, and then on the background I could have something fun. In this case, it is this pattern of just some artistic London things that I thought went really well with this day since we visited Buckingham Palace. But yeah, this is a really fun thing to add to the 4x10s if you wanted to add a couple of more photos instead of just one long photo like you usually would. So you'll see that repeated kind of throughout the album on these 4x10s. As you can see, full 4x10 photo and then full 4x10 photo, and then this has that same 3x3 corner square, and you can flip it up and you can reveal more photos. This is attached to the outside of the page protector so that you can flip it out. And I just think, one, it adds a little bit of interactivity to this album, and two, it's just really fun. Like this photo, there's really nothing special about it other than those are the gates of Buckingham Palace. So to be able to add a couple of more photos to that spread is really fun. Now we're back to the regular sized page protectors, 4x6s, 4x4s. This is a digital stamp by Everyday Explorers. It says, "Oh, hello London, love this city." Used this a couple of times for this album. Again, walking around the park area. This time I actually did add an embellishment to my photo. This is a geotag and this word strip that says "headed in the right direction." You can see Buckingham Palace in the background right there. More journaling. This is, again, the digital version of the nested chipboard included in the kit. And then this is a pattern paper, like a map pattern paper that I had in my stash. So here we are at another 6x8 photo. That means there's another transition coming. And again, we have the same formula where I have a map or some type of background and the tag on top of it. I usually get these maps straight from Google. There'll usually be a PDF version of some type of map or menu or anything like that, and I will just go ahead and import that PDF into Photoshop, turn it into a PNG, and then resize it the way that I would like it. You can always slip this out to see the full map, but you can also just enjoy it as a background and flip up the tab to see the photo and journaling underneath. The other side is usually a full page 6x8 photo. Again, a digital stamp. I believe this is also from In a Creative Bubble. And I just added some word art at the top. This is a little teacup, which worked really well because we went to afternoon tea. More journaling, some photos in this 4x6, 4x4 page protector. Again, lots of photos. I even added an insert. This is about 5x7. This was our view from our afternoon tea. I added a geotag and then a word phrase sticker that says "It's a great big world out there." And then on the other side, I have a printout of the menu that we had for afternoon tea. Again, did not get anything, any of this as a real life ephemera bit. This was all taken from the interwebs and then printed out in a smaller format so that I could add them into my album. Most of the stuff that we received that would have normally been paper ephemera was not. It was all digital. So I definitely had to get a little bit creative with how I added that into the album. This is another 6x8. This time it is a divided page projector. So I have 2 3x4s and 1 4x6. But again, it is signaling a different part of the day. So here's more journaling. I didn't discover this until the third day, or the second day we were staying in our hotel, but there was a large mirror, and I tried to remember to take a photo of all 3 of us in the mirror every day, and that's kind of a continual element from this day forward in our trip. Another digital stamp from Everyday Explorers Co. says Exploring London. This was the day that I had to use the full 10x8 photos. This is a photo that we took of Westminster Abbey. We were very close, and it made my little British loving heart very happy. So had to take a picture of that from where we were standing and print it out nice and big. And then on the other side, there's this picture of my family and I with Big Ben in the background. Lots of pictures of Big Ben, lots of pictures of the Ferris wheel. Again, this 4x10 photo was perfect for those landscape shots, but I also wanted to add more close-up photos as well. So I created flip-ups that were that same 3x3 size that you used earlier in the album. And I love the way that that looks. On the opposite side, this was another template that I created for myself. It has a large photo on one side, a circular cutout for embellishments, and then some journaling. This one and the 3 squares in a row are available on my Patreon shop if you would like to do something similar in your own 4x10 album. Finished it off with a nighttime photo of Victoria Station, which is where we were staying, or close to where we were staying. And then I also added this vellum half circle in a geotag on top of it that says it's about the journey. Our ephemera page for this day, we had a lot of ephemera. As you can see, the page is quite full, and I had a lot of journaling as well. The next day, this was a large photo that we took on a walk back to Big Ben. And I have this Go See Do tag as well as my metal rim tag with my chipboard number 7, full 4x6 and 4x4 page projector, some journaling here. Again, that mirror selfie that I discovered, which was really fun, where we went to breakfast. This is a printout of the menu from the place that we went to breakfast, as well as some photos of the food that we had. This was our British Museum day, so I have this full photo of the British Museum from the outside waiting in line, and then I went ahead and used their logo to put on top of here just to show where we were. On the opposite side, this is a full 4x10 photo of the dome on top of the British Museum. And in pictures like this, you know that I love to add more close-up shots. So here's a flip up with some extra journaling and some extra photos as well. This particular 4x10, I added the journaling straight onto the photo, which is another way that you can do that. I really loved that I had a little bit of white space right here to add more journaling. More 4x6 and 4x4 page projectors. Another place where I added journaling straight to the photo, and then this one where I just created my own little journaling spot. Another one of our 6x8s. So we're moving on to a different part of the day. This tag is on a background of a different part of the subway, and if you flip it up, I have the wall of the subway, and I added this digital stamp to that says Getting Around the City. This is also from the Everyday Explorers Co. digital stamp set for London, and some journaling as well. So I tried to take a lot of pictures of like patterns, so it was fun to be able to add that into the album. So this was like the tile on the side of the subway, not the subway guys, the tube. It was the walls of the little hallways that we went to get to the tube. So that was a fun extra that I tried to make sure that I took pictures of, and then I made sure that I added to my album. This was a 6x8 photo of the restaurant we ate at for dinner. Best restaurant ever. It's the Gordon Ramsay restaurant in Hedden Street, which we loved. Best dessert I've ever had in my life, which was this toffee pudding. It was delicious, and I still dream about it. On this particular page, for these 4x10s, you can see both of the templates that I created for this album. Large photo with a cutout embellishment and some journaling, and then a series of 3 squares with some type of background on there to show our food. This is the toffee pudding. It was delicious. I've never had toffee pudding before in my life, but that made me a convert, and I want it every day, but only from England. We tried to make it ourselves for my birthday, and it came out almost the same, but not quite. And I wanted to jet back off to England so that I could have another thing of toffee pudding. These 4x10s work really great for these landscapes. We were at, what would it have been? Piccadilly Circus? Yeah, I think so, which is like the London equivalent of Times Square. And it had all of these beautiful British flags because it was still decorated for the King's coronation, which I thought was really fun, and kind of a sweet little add-on to our trip. So I added on top of the page protector this geotag, and then also this sentiment that says "Oh, the places you'll go," which is by Dr. Seuss. Another full 4x6 and 4x4 page protector. A little bit of journaling on the side, and then our ephemera page. So this one has a little bit of extra journaling, and then my ephemera captions, you could say. I like to use different digital stamps for each one of these, so none of them are alike, which I think is quite fun. The next day was our Formula One day. We went on a train to Milton Keynes. So this is my favorite photo from that day. Tag, ephemera bit, or embellishment bit, metal rim tag, and then the date. This is the divided page protector with a modified journaling card that tells a little bit about what we were doing to get there. I also added another little bit of journaling. Again, this is a digital version of the nested chipboard. More photos, full 4x10, 3 photos up the top, and then a full photo at the bottom. Again, these are not photos that I took. This one, at least, is not a photo that I took. I did not have a view of the pit wall. But it's fun to add into my album. Also didn't have an aerial shot of all of the F1 cars. This is also from the internet. I have the regular divided page protectors, a little bit of digital journaling right here. This one is actually not delineating a different part of the day, but it was the home for all of these photos that I took of the cars as they were going by. And I created that as kind of a waterfall so that I could fit more photos into this album without making it any bigger than it already was. Behind here, there's the background, which is the map of Silverstone, which is the raceway we were at. I love this shot, even though none of my family is in it. There's this little girl that is wearing the British flag around herself as like a blanket, and it's just so cute. And then there is the race going on in the background on the screen, so that is really fun. We went on a qualifying day, not on the actual race day, but it was still really fun despite the fact that it rained. Again, not one of my photos. This was the photo that I got off the internet. The rest of them are my photos, obviously. A little spread about our train trip back. It was very relaxing. It was so hot that day and muggy from the rain that it was so nice to finally be sitting down and enjoying kind of more of the countryside of England. That was really the only foray into the country that we did, so it was fun to have that. More journaling plus a copy of like the tickets, the logo for the ticket up here. Again, didn't get an actual physical copy of our tickets, which made me really sad, but it was okay because I have the digital copies and I printed them out and it works. Over here I have my ephemera page for this day. Lots of extras. This is our last day in England. So there is a large photo of all three of us, a tag that says, "Let's find some beautiful place to get lost," chipboard embellishment on a middle rim tag, and then another little embellishment right here. Again, our divided page protector, another photo in the mirror. So this was a really fun little journaling spot that I created. This was a screenshot. My husband took a screenshot of where we were because we walked to a different part of London, and he took a screenshot of us on the GPS, and I used that as a background for some journaling. Another full 4x10 page protector has the 3 photos of where we ate, and then also a photo from Hyde Park, which is where we went. Photo of all of us with some journaling, and then this stamp from Everyday Explorers Co. Lots of silly selfies that we took. These are all divided page protectors because I couldn't decide on like one photo just to focus on, so I focused on all of them and added them all into this album. This was later on during the night. This is actually our transition 6x8 here. This is a photo of, or the background is a map of Hyde Park and Kensington Palace, which is where we spent the first part of the day. And then if you lift up the tag, there's a photo of my daughter at Westminster Tube Station. And then on the opposite side is a full photo of her at Paddington Station, where we got her Paddington bear. So it's kind of in the middle, not exactly chronological, but it works. And then this is our ephemera page for the last day in London. And then on the opposite side of this full page, 10x8, is just a little spread dedicated to our travel day back home. So this is based off one of the Ali Edwards digital layered templates that were available for, I think, Week in the Life, that I recreated to fit my own needs. I think this is the only layout that doesn't actually have a process video in my Patreon because this was based off of someone else's design, but it worked really well to kind of showcase the smaller photos, the phone photos that we had from our trip back, as well as the journaling. And I tried to kind of emulate the title pages of each day by adding the tag and the embellishment here, even though it doesn't have the metal rim tag with a chipboard number. So that is pretty much the end of this very hefty album. Definitely if I would have had one more page of exploring London, or one more day of exploring London, I would have had to move it into a different album. But since that was the travel day, was the last day, I was able to fit everything into this very chunky wonky 10x8. And it's finally finished, and I'm so excited. I hope you enjoyed this flip through. I hope you were maybe inspired. Don't forget, if you would like to see any specific process videos for any of these days, they are available on my Patreon for the Scrappy Club tier at $5 a month, and you'll get the full entire playlist for this album. And I am so excited that you joined me for this London travel album flip through. Thanks so much for watching, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.